Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look through my most recent vintage Matchbox diecast pickups. We've got a couple of books to look at as well, and a couple of slightly weird Corgi imposters to look at the end, as well as an overview of the entire collection as it looks right now. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay then, so we're starting off with this one, which is number 1, Mod Rod, and this is that classic sort of 70s car, isn't it? This one was produced from 71 to 1975, and a lot of these I've picked up fairly recently, well, over the last sort of few months, I should say, at the various toy shows I've been going to. I don't think I've bought any online this time round. All of these have been bought sort of in person at the toy fairs, and this is a really, really nice one, and I'm pleased to be able to start. In fact, we'll see quite a few 70s ones this time round, and I have been sort of, for me, these seem to be the most sort of collectible ones at the moment, so if I'm able to pick them up, I'm always really pleased. And of course, these were the ones I was playing with when I was a youngster. So yeah, this one not too bad at all. Lovely to have it in a box. In fact, all bar a couple are boxed today, which is great news. And he's not too bad. There's like a slight, don't know if that's a slight rub on the top of the windscreen. What I'll do, I've got a very soft cloth here and a bit of Mr. Sheen, and I just squirt some Mr. Sheen on there and dab it in, just so I've got a bit of a slightly damp cloth, just to see if that cleans it up. No, I think that's ever such a slight rub on the actual windscreen there. But what I will also do, probably when it's been out on display, it's probably picked up a little bit of dust around the funky 70s engine. So I just get my little toothbrush, very, very soft. This is an ancient toothbrush, so the bristles aren't hard by any means. So don't worry about me actually damaging the diecast. That's an absolute beauty. I really, really like that one. I would have it around that way in my cabinet, I think. It's quite a thin box, that one, so we'll have to be quite delicate when I actually put that one out on display, but we'll just leave it there for now. Now next we got another early 70s one, number 4, which is the Gruesome Twosome. This was produced from 1972 to 1975. The box isn't quite as sharp on this one. He's not bad. Racing suspension. Oh, yeah, it has got a bit of suspension. High-speed mag wheels. Lovely. Very, very nice. The engine was slightly skew-whiff, wasn't it? But it soon straightened itself up. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get more 70s than that, does it? Very, very funky. Yeah, copyrighted 71 on the bottom there. That's really, really nice. I've got some coming up later. I was at the Matford Toy Show, and I was speaking with a dealer, and I was able to pick up 3 diecasts that had actually come from a Lesney employee, which is really nice. He had, the same dealer had a couple of like rare colour variants, but as you know, I'm not sort of going down the variant route because I'm really just happy with having sort of one of each. I mean, that I'm more than happy to have that. Once again, it's got a very thin box, so it's going to be quite a delicate balancing act to keep him in place, but we'll give it a go. It'll be all right once it's in the cabinet, of course, because they won't get touched then, but I do want to keep these all in shot, at least while I'm cleaning the other cars, and we'll pull back in a moment. Now this one is fantastic. I love these sort of oddball ones, sort of vehicles that never, really existed. It's sort of only in the imaginations of the designers. This is the Freeman Intercity Commuter. Absolutely fantastic. It does remind me a little bit of the car from Total Recall. Is it the Johnny Cab? And this one was produced from 1970 to 1974. That's that really sort of bizarre period. And I think, in a funny sort of way, Matchbox were looking to do a little bit of a response to what Hot Wheels were doing over in the States, and I think they had to up their game a little bit, and I think that's what we're seeing here. Now, this one has got the stickers on the side. It has got a tiny little layer of dust on there, a little bit of tarnishing on the base, but not much. I love that colour. That sort of a metallic-y purple colour is lovely. But I think this one's possibly been on display because it's got, you may not be able to pick it up, but it has got a little bit of dust on it. This is one of those ones that I'd be happy to pick up a few different versions of. There's a few like that in the Matchbox range, like the Stretcher Fetcher, for example, and this one, which if I could come across a few variants, I might well be tempted, because I think they're just so mad to look at them, you know. I mean, they really, really are. And that's going to be an absolute beauty, that one. Very, very nice indeed. So we keep that one just about keeping these in shot at the moment. I think we've got room for another one here. So this is the only sort of one which originally attracted me to Matchbox. These ones with the, I call it the stars and stripes. There's no actual stars on it, but they look a bit like funky mid-70s ones, and that's exactly what they are, highlighting the 75 brand. And this is number 28, Stoat, one of the sort of army-ish vehicles. It's a Rollermatics. The boxes are slightly bigger, and it would have been these and these that I had originally as a kid. This one was produced from 74 to 1978, and it's in the military colours, this one. So I've got one of these, but I haven't got a boxed one, so it's always nice to upgrade to a nice boxed one. And the vehicle, well, it sort of is what it is. I'm not a massive fan of these military ones, I have to say. I sort of prefer the earlier ones a little bit. It's got a big hair in there, wrapped around the wheel. I prefer sort of the earlier military ones, but these sort of 70 ones, I'm not really sure why they did them. Although, as a youngster, I had a few military diecasts. I remember having a tank and a sort of a Jeep, I think I had as well, but they weren't Matchbox. They were larger, like a Corgi or a Dinky, I believe. But yeah, I mean, these are okay. I mean, they are what they are. I'm not a massive fan. I think there is a gold one, like the one on the box, rather than the military colours rather. So maybe if I could swap that out for a gold one, I might be tempted, in all honesty. Now, this is the first one that I got this is from an ex-Lesney employee, which is at number 29. Big fan of minis, particularly classic minis. In fact, I used to own one for quite a few years, and sadly it rusted before my very eyes, so I couldn't keep it. But this, I've already got a loose one of this because I wanted to make sure I had one. But this is an absolutely beautiful example. I mean, really, really nice, and I was delighted to get this off the deal at £20 is what I paid for that. I think that was, you know, for the condition of it, an absolute bargain. As I said, I've already got a fairly nice one, but loose. So what I'm going to do, I've got that little Matchbox car transporter, and I'm going to put this Mini on that car transporter along with a couple of VWs that I've got as well, and I think that'll be quite a nice little addition to that. But that is, I'm just over the moon with that one. That is superb. Look at that. Oh, I'd like a little army of those. Anyway, I think we've just about run out of room there, so let me reset the camera now. Okay, so next we've got the Maserati Bora, number 32 here. Got the rather funky pink colours. Now this one's not a mint box, but he's still pretty nice. He was a little bit borderline, but I went for it. Sometimes I go to a show, and if I've not had much success finding many die-casts, you sort of tend to go for one which is ever so slightly lower. This one's got a very funky base on it. Yeah, dated 72. Once again, it's from that sort of early 70s period. We've got a nice clear sticker on it. The colour of the car, though, the purple, is really something. Now, I'm just going to clean the windscreen. They do tend to pick up the dirt, don't they, on the glassware, all the plastic underneath there. There we are. This one's got working doors, which is unusual, isn't it? It's quite nice. I see, oh look at that, it's got a little bit of I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this out. The dealer probably had a price tag wrapped around the wheel, and look, I don't think it was from the dealer I bought off. Maybe this has been on there for years and years. Look at it, and it's sort of got stuck. I'm not 100% sure. Can I pull it out? Well, I think I will be able to get it out, but get my craft knife in here. See if I can cut it out. Got it. Cool, that was a delicate little operation, wasn't it? I wonder if anyone has ever come across that little situation before, but we got it. We got it all right, but yeah, it was a little bit fiddly that, but I was a bit worried about sort of pulling the axle underneath there, but that's all right. That's come out absolutely fine. And yeah, the Maserati Bora. Not a car I ever really remember, to be honest, but once again, quite a thin little box, so slightly tricky to balance it on there. But he's just about in shot, so we've got some room to put some more out. Next then, we've got the Formula 1 racing car. This was the second one, which came from the ex-Lesney employee. And once again, I've been looking for this one for a while. I think it's actually a really, really nice model. The only thing that's a bit weird about it, and I guess it's of its time, is the colour more than anything. You don't see many sports cars in that sort of colour, do you? Once again, lovely sticker on it. Yeah, 1970. When you think of the age of these, you know, over 50 years old, when you're picking these up, I don't tend to pay much more than £20 for a boxed one like this. That's sort of my cut-off point. They go for a lot more online, but they do seem to be some bargains at the toy fairs. For a 50-year-old toy in that sort of tip-top shape, I think it is a veritable bargain, and I think they are undervalued, certainly in my eyes. And this is the real attraction for Matchbox cars to me, over say something like the modern Star Wars, or trying to collect vintage Star Wars, which I think for the age of it, admittedly 35 to 40 years, a lot of those toys now, amazingly, these just seem better value for money, and you can get a lot more for your money. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why I really like them so much. Okay, so this one here then is number 38, which is a Hot Rod Dragula. It's unboxed, dated 1970. It was in a little clearance box, and you can see on reflection, it was only a couple of quid, but the paint has started to bubble on it, and there's also a bit of a price sticker on it as well. So I'm going to give it the toothbrush first of all, just around the engine bits where the dust was collecting. There's a couple of little marks on there, but what I really want to do is ideally use my fingernail and get this sticker off. It probably had like a £2 on it or something like that, which unfortunately left a bit of a mark, but it's only a sticky sticker, at the end of the day, so it should come off, and it certainly appears to be. But then I'm going to get some polish on it, and we're going to see if I can pull up any of the sticky residue that's been left behind by the sticker. And then we'll take a proper look at it. My feeling is this is just going to be one of those ones, it's just a placeholder. It's not a mint loose one, which is how I like my loose ones, unless it's something really, really early and very, very scarce, which in fact is probably the next one, which we'll take a look at. But yeah, so I've got a fair bit of that off just with my fingernail. But as you can see, well, hopefully you can see, there's a a mess of stuff on there. So what I'm going to do, give it another good squirt with the Mr. Sheen, dab it in so it's not going on too thickly, and I'm going to put some Mr. Sheen on there to hopefully clean up the bits of stickiness that was left. Do the rest of the car while I'm at it. Yeah, it's coming off. You can see it coming off. And we'll give it another good wipe down. Oh, that does actually look much better than it did, shall we say, you know. But unfortunately, it's not going to take away the fact that part of the bonnet there is rippled, like the paint is rippled. And I don't know how I didn't spot that at the time. Sometimes you don't, in the heat of the moment at the toy fair, you don't really get to see too much, you know, the lighting sometimes isn't great. But he's not bad, and it's an unusual car, isn't it? So I'm not too disappointed with that at all, really. Still looks quite nice, doesn't it? The side engines, it's just so of its day, isn't it? So that's in there. It's in the collection. It's on borrowed time because he's not mint. It has got some damage at the back, but he's still quite a nice one, isn't he? So we'll just stick that right at the to the side there, because we have also got another loose one. Now this is one that I've been after for a long time. This is number 66, the Citroen DS, and it came in this beautiful lemon color. And I am after a really nice boxed one of these, and I know because of when it was released, which was 1959 to 1961, so only, 3 years this was in production, which isn't a lot, and it's a lot older than the ones I've been picking up lately. I know that a nice box one of these is probably going to be the best part of 40 to 50 pounds. Bit more than I want to be spending on one of these just yet, even though I absolutely love this particular one. I think it's gorgeous. So this is just a stopgap measure, but this one only cost me £5, which I didn't think was too bad at all. Now, there's no actual plastic inside. It never came with any sort of plastic windows, but I'm just going over all the edges here. I just love the sort of the lemony colour, but, I've seen these online, and sadly, they are going for good money. I've had it as a saved search for ages on eBay, and the ones on eBay tend to just go for more than I'm really willing to spend. And it may just be that it comes down to, if I want a really nice one, which I do of this one, I'm just going to have to put my hand in my pocket a bit more. But I've got that same bit of damp cloth in the hope that I can take off some of the marks here. And it's not really marks, it's more like fingerprint wear, where the car's been handled over the years. It's very, very soft, this, so there's nothing abrasive going on at all. It's just taking off the surface dirt. And I think it has actually looked already. It's looking better than what it did. So you can see there's a few little bits of paint loss and that. So it's not ideal, but it is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous one. I really, really like this one. And a one I definitely wanted to get. It was like my top ones, this one. But yeah, I may indeed still try and persevere and track down a boxed one. But for the time being, I just love that. That is a real beauty. It really, really is. Yeah. Yeah, quite a scarce little Matchbox car. Next we have this one, which is number 68. This is the Porsche 910. This was the third one from the ex-Lesney employee. This one had a tiny bit of box, like not box wear, but the box had been like crushed ever so slightly. So you can see just in there, the box has been crushed slightly. So I would display it sort of like that, with the better of the two sides. But the car itself, lovely. I mean, it's the only Porsche I'm ever going to be owning. And yeah, it appears to be in really, really nice condition. A little bit of bleed through on the sticker, where the glue underneath the 6 and 8 there has just started to come through a little bit. But I mean, ever so minor, this one. And I do have a friend in the States, and I'm trying to find another one of these. because he is a big fan of Porsches. I've tracked down a Corgi one for him, but I would like to get him the Matchbox one as well. And I'm just going to give this a little wipe. What a beauty. This one was produced from 1970 to 1973. And as I said, a lot of the cars we're looking at today are from that sort of magic period, which seems quite a hot area of Matchbox collecting at the moment, sort of the early 1970s. There we are. Is it going to stay? Just about. Not very well. There we are. It's on. Brilliant. Right, next we've got number 69, and this is the Turbo Fury. Quite a funky one. I believe, once again, I think I've got this as a loose example, so it's one I'll be able to trade on down the line. Very, very funky, this. I love the colouring on it. Absolutely awesome. Look at that. Sticker's just starting to peel. And this is that one. I don't know if you can see the back there. The back engine's going there. Brilliant stuff. This one was produced from 1973 to 1977. Very, very funky indeed. It's again got a little bit of dust. The tiniest little level. Very, very minor. Nice black base. It seems to suit that one, doesn't it? That's very, very nice. The Turbo Fury. As I said, the box isn't mint. Please, not a bad one. Not bad at all. And then the last of the Matchboxes, although we've got a couple more diecast to look at, is number 74 here, Toe Joe. I remember having this one as a kid. This was 1972 to 1978. Quite a big diecast, this one. Uses the front part of the stretcher fetcher. Really nice box on this. Yeah, a big car, this one. And look at this. So what they've done, they've hooked the little hooks under there like so. So we're going to get that out so that we can actually clean, because look, oh well, you may not be able to see, but there's actually a big layer of dust around there where that's never been sort of cleaned. So we're going to give this a dust now. And I'm also going to get in there with my cloth. And then these can go back like so. But a really excellent model, this one. I like all the functionality of it. Very, very cool indeed. See this one. See the reason why this was a hit. Absolutely a great model, this one. Yes, yeah, quite nostalgic that. I said I definitely had that one as a kid, and that's very, very nice indeed. So that's that one. So that's all the Matchbox today. However, I have got a couple of other ones for us to look at. Now, these aren't Matchbox at all. These are, in fact, these boxes are not real. These are just facsimile, no, these are made up. They're like hypothetical boxes. So these I just bought off eBay. It's a custom made store and display box. I'm trying to remember the chap's name. Let's have a look. Replicaboxes.com. This box is made by Boxes to Match for collectors to display and store the featured model. So this is one of the ones from James Bond on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So you may or may not be aware, but there was a few diecast, sort of Corgi rockets, diecast size that were produced for on Her Majesty's Secret Service, my all-time favourite Bond show, film rather. And you probably remember, and you've probably seen the 2 bobsleighs that got released. But here's one which is the Mercedes 280 SL. So the model is original, and it's got the wind-up key as well, which is really, really cool. And it's just in this custom box. Now, these Corgi models did get released carded. They are incredibly expensive to find carded, and I think there's also a gift set box, which is also, you know, ridiculous money in the thousands, and the carded ones for these are a few £100 each, a bit more than I'd prefer to spend. However, I would like to get a set of these loose, and I think what fun way to do it, even though they're not Matchbox, they are sort of Matchbox size, would be to get them in these fake boxes, and they're not actually too bad. I don't mind those at all. So I hope you don't mind this little trespasser coming in on the scene, and as I said, I will try and get the rest of those in good time, but they don't really turn up that often. And I've got one other in a similar sort of vein. It's the Blake 7 Liberator. Once again, this one came carded. It never was in a box like this, but a box has been produced by the same people, and these boxes are only like a £5 each, including the postage, which I don't think is too bad, although that one doesn't really close that tightly. So there you go. But I think it's really, really great. Absolutely classic design, the Liberator. And of course, Corgi did produce a green version of this as well, didn't they? But this is the one for the TV series, and it's not in bad condition. It's a tough one to find really, really mint, if that makes sense. Pop him on there like that. Yeah, just something a little bit more unusual for today's video, and they do sort of fit in with my very, very small die casts. So that's all the die casts we're going to look at today. However, I have got a couple of books which I wanted to show you that have come my way, so let's get on and take a look at those now. Now, I mentioned that I've got a couple of books to show you. We have actually shown this one before in a previous Matchbox video, but I still think it's the best overall guide to collecting Matchbox that was ever been published. It's absolutely fantastic, really, really well illustrated, a really, really gorgeous book, which I think you would do well to try and track down. I picked mine one up, this copy up off eBay. It was about £18, which I thought was a veritable bargain. I've seen them go for a bit more than that. This was yes, it's supposed to be sort of a limited edition of some sort, but I don't know so much. But just for the sheer pictures alone, I think it's just fantastic. Really good chapters on the early days of Matchbox as well, before they really got into the die-casts that we know and love. And also I love all the vintage adverts as well. That's very, very attractive to me. So yeah, I do absolutely love the old adverts and the catalogues and things like that. So yeah, a very, very good book. However, there was a new one published just a couple of months back, and this is I think it's an annual one. It might be biannual, but it's yeah, Ramsey's British Diecasts Model Toys catalogue. And in all honesty, the last one of these that I actually picked up was probably number 3 or 4, which was from a couple of decades ago. So this is the very latest one, and it is, well, it was quite an eye-opener. And I don't just mean because of the prices, which tend to be, I would say, a little bit over what you might expect to pay at auction or online, but what it has got is very, very definitive lists. And what I really, really like is it lists variations, but it also lists like shop display stuff and catalogues as well. The Matchbox section, as you can see, is extremely detailed. It is fantastic. It really, really is, as you can see. So you know, I just absolutely love this book, and I've been poring over it for many hours, and I think it's just superb. And of course it doesn't just do Matchbox, it's got all the main sort of toy manufacturers, but this is the Matchbox section there, but then it's got, you know, all the other ones as well. And you know, it really is the ultimate reference book. There is nothing like it in the world, and this is the one to get. Now, it's not cheap, it's about £25, but look at it, it's in full colour. Really great that they show all this sort of promotional stuff and catalogues and things like that. As I said, shop displays, order forms. That's what makes this a cut above the rest, and I think it's really terrific. I really do. So yeah, highly recommended this one. And I think if you can track, you know, it's readily available off Amazon. In fact, if I remember, I shall pop a link to this one in the description down below, so you can possibly pick your own copy up, because it's well worth it, as you can see. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. So all that remains now is to go back to my main Matchbox collection, where I've moved all the ones that we've seen this morning into my dedicated Matchbox display cabinet. So let's go and have a look at those right now. So there they all are, all the latest editions slipped in. I put these out in chronological order as the models have been released, rather than just number order. So for me, it just looks aesthetically a bit more pleasing, but certainly the way I've been enjoying collecting these. But I have to say, I'm probably going to need a second display case, because I'm rapidly running out of room. Even just trying to get like one of each one is not going to be quite enough space for what I've got here. And there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that latest look through my vintage Matchbox collection. Certainly I'm getting a few here and there at toy fairs. As I said, not been buying too much online. I've just had so much on, I've not really had a chance to properly have a look for models that I've been missing. But I'm back into it in a big way now, and certainly look at the collection. I'm probably going to need another display case quite soon. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it the thumbs up. If you've not already, do please hit that subscribe button for regular vintage diecast content, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.